Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Welcome to Connecting the Dots. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan.
And it is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. Today, we are connecting some really fascinating dots that link these massive market jitters with a huge shift in financial plumbing.
And, the quest for absolute precision in creative AI, it's a day of really conflicting data.
It really is.
If you just look at the headlines, you see fear, but then you look at the actual contracts being signed, and you just see this explosive, undeniable growth.
So we're going to walk you through that push and pull this morning. But before we jump in, let's get the national picture.
Okay.
If you're dealing with that heavy lake effect snow east of Lake Ontario, please stay safe. And for our listeners in the Pacific Northwest, get ready.
Yeah, that second Pacific cold front is coming.
Another atmospheric river arriving tomorrow. It's bringing gusty winds, mountain snow, and unfortunately, a renewed threat of flooding.
And right here in our backyard in Sacramento, we're seeing that classic dense fog this morning. It should clear up a bit, though, to a high of 53 degrees with a slight chance of showers later.
All right, let's talk markets, because this volatility really sets the stage for our whole discussion today.
It does.
The Dow Jones closed Monday just slightly down at 48,279.40. That's a dip of, 0.21% on the day?
Right.
But it's still holding on to some weekly gains.
The S&P 500 was basically flat, closed at 6,803.41.
And we keep watching Bitcoin, which had a nice little daily bump. It gained almost 1% to close at $87,270.
It's still working to claw back from a pretty significant drop over the last week.
Right. And that mix of these minor daily ups and downs set against this bigger weekly fear.
That's exactly what we're seeing reflected in our first big story today, the AI infrastructure sector.
Absolutely. But first, let's talk about something a little more stable, thanks to our first sponsor.
Yeah, good one.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for, the techie friend who also secretly loves classic rock or their favorite team?
We're huge fans of Old Glory. They're an iconic music and sports fan merch store. They have great stuff, and it's just in time for the holidays.
And if you shop now and use the promo code SNARFL at checkout, you will get 15% off your entire purchase.
That's Old Glory at oldglory.com.
Okay, let's unpack this Morningstar report. We have to start with the whiplash happening in the AI infrastructure world.
Yeah.
It's hitting massive players. We're talking Broadcom, Oracle, CoreWeave. How can we be in a situation where investors are selling off shares? I mean, Oracle is down almost 50% since September.
Right.
But the entire tech industry is screaming about AI demand.
That is the ultimate paradox. And it all boils down to a really fundamental financial question. Capital expenditure versus return on investment.
The classic CapEx versus ROI.
Exactly. The CapEx, the sheer amount of money needed to build the foundational AI infrastructure, the chips, the servers, the data centers, it's astronomical. So investors are asking, are the returns going to be fast enough and large enough to justify the billions being spent right now?
So they're worried the cost is just outpacing the revenue.
They fear it's outpacing a realistic revenue timeline.
Yeah.
It sounds like, typical high-growth bubble anxiety.
But is that fear justified? Especially when the companies themselves are reporting these massive wins.
I don't think it's entirely justified. The underlying demand is relentless. I mean, we saw Broadcom and Oracle actually beat their recent revenue expectations.
Okay.
And the demand signal from the customer side is unanimous. As one analyst put it, and this is a great quote, he said, "Every single AI company on the planet is saying, if you give me more compute, I can make more revenue."
So the bottleneck is supply, not demand.
It's all supply. And Broadcom just provided this stunning counter-narrative to all that negative sentiment. That $10 billion order is just staggering.
It is a massive market-moving vote of confidence.
It really is. Their shares surged 8.34% yesterday on that news. A $10 billion AI chip order.
And an order of that size. That's not coming from a small player.
Oh, no. That's coming from a single hyperscale cloud provider that's building out their entire next-generation infrastructure.
$10 billion is enough to make any investor just put their worries on hold for a bit.
For a little while, yeah.
So what is Broadcom doing differently to pull in a contract like that, especially when NVIDIA just dominates the conversation?
They have a brilliant competitive strategy. It's all focused on high-margin customization. They avoid selling what's called merchant silicon.
Okay, what's that?
Think of that as like the general purpose, off-the-shelf chips that many companies can use. That's NVIDIA's traditional playground. Instead, Broadcom specializes in custom accelerators.
Okay, so help us connect that idea. What does a custom accelerator mean in practice?
Okay, think of it like this. NVIDIA sells you a high-performance engine for a really fast SUV. It works great for basically everyone.
Right.
Broadcom works with a company, say a Google or a Meta, to design a bespoke engine specifically for their unique Formula One racing car.
Ah, so it's not general purpose at all. It's totally specialized.
Exactly. It's tuned for their specific workload, their specific data center cooling, their specific software architecture. And that customization, that generates higher margins for Broadcom.
And I'm guessing it locks the customer in.
Critically, it creates stickier customer relationships. Once a tech giant bases their multi-billion-dollar AI stack on Broadcom's custom silicon, switching to a competitor becomes prohibitively expensive. They lock them in.
That's a genius move. It avoids the direct street fight with NVIDIA.
Completely.
Okay, so let's talk about CoreWeave. They've been the definition of volatility. A 50% crash followed by a rapid surge. What's their story?
CoreWeave's financials are strong. I mean, $1.36 billion in Q3 revenue, but they are a major beneficiary of all this broader AI speculation.
The stock's jumpy.
Very jumpy. The volatility shows investor nerves, for sure. But their biggest recent move addresses a really crucial pain point that's going to win them customers, regardless of market sentiment.
And that pain point is data transfer fees or egress fees, which I know they sound boring, but they are absolutely crushing for large businesses.
They are devastating. Imagine you have a massive warehouse of proprietary data, and that warehouse is located inside a major cloud provider like AWS.
Okay.
If you decide to move that entire data warehouse over to a competitor like CoreWeave, the egress fees that AWS charges you just to pull your data out can sometimes rival the cost of storing the data for an entire year.
Wow. It's basically a financial punishment for switching.
That's what it is. It kills competition and it traps customers.
So what's CoreWeave's answer?
It's their zero egress migration program. They are simply eliminating those costly data transfer fees when customers move their data sets from AWS, Google Cloud, or Azure over to CoreWeave.
That's smart.
By removing that financial barrier, they make their whole proposition instantly more attractive, especially for companies trying to optimize AI workloads, which require moving just colossal amounts of data.
It's smart, aggressive competition. It proves they're thinking about customer friction, and they have the commitments to back it up, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Despite the market nerves, their customer pipeline is solid. They have a total backlog of $55.6 billion,
That's a lot.
including performance obligations of $50 billion with major clients like Meta and OpenAI. The market might be skeptical about ROI, but the customers are absolutely committed to building.
Okay, so moving from that volatile AI infrastructure to something more, stable financial infrastructure, we have a massive piece of news about Visa.
Yeah, and their embrace of digital currency here in the U.S., this is a truly foundational change.
What's the announcement?
Visa announced they're going to allow U.S. institutions, we're talking banks like Cross River Bank and Lead Bank, to settle transactions using Circle's USDC stablecoin.
And this is running on the Solana blockchain.
That's right. This is the first full U.S. deployment of stablecoin settlement for a massive payments network.
So for the average listener, tapping their card at the grocery store, what changes for them?
Functionally, nothing changes for the cardholder. You still swipe, the payment is authorized instantly, same as it ever was. What this revolutionizes is the messy, slow, expensive backend, the rails of the system.
Explain that.
When you buy something, the two banks involved, the one that issued your card and the merchant's bank, they have to settle up that money movement.
Right.
Traditionally, they rely on systems like ACH or FedWire, which only operate during specific banking hours and can take, 3 to 5 days to finalize.
And those delays essentially just tie up cash for days.
Exactly. Think of it like having your cash stuck in transit on a multi-day journey. If you're a major bank, you have billions of dollars tied up in these slow settlement cycles.
Which affects their liquidity, their ability to lend.
It affects their liquidity management, exactly. By using USDC on Solana, that settlement happens in minutes, 24/7/365.
So the banks care because instant settlement means their capital is instantly freed up. It's all about maximizing that working capital.
That is the core business benefit. It reduces operational friction, it improves treasury efficiency, and it gives banks much better liquidity control.
And we know this works.
We do. Visa's global stablecoin pilots have been working flawlessly. They're already handling an annualized run rate of over $3.5 billion in volume outside the U.S.
So bringing this to the U.S. is the crucial final step.
It is. And Visa is deeply integrated here. They're not just using the ecosystem.
What do you mean?
Visa is a design participant for Circle's upcoming ARC blockchain. And the timing here is also crucial. We've seen these pilots globally, but the U.S. rollout is happening now, partly due to what sources describe as a supportive, relaxed regulatory environment.
Right.
It allows them to modernize this crucial domestic infrastructure without, let's say, immediate heavy political resistance. They're leveraging the moment to upgrade the financial system for the digital age.
Okay, finally, let's jump into the world of creative tech with Adobe Firefly.
Yeah.
I think anyone who's played with generative AI knows the frustration.
Oh, yeah.
You get 90% of what you want, but that last 10%, the weird artifact, the misplaced object, the camera angle that's just slightly off it, ruins the whole clip.
And historically, you had to scrap it and start over.
Exactly.
That lack of precision, that lack of fine-grained control, that has been the major barrier preventing professional creators from fully adopting generative video.
So what's Adobe doing?
They're aiming to solve that directly with a really significant update to their Firefly platform, which now introduces precise, prompt-based editing.
We've all been there, trying to generate a simple picture, only for the character to have, like, 7 fingers, or the sun is in the wrong place.
Right. That level of frustration just kills the professional workflow.
So how does this new prompt-to-edit feature actually work?
Instead of the AI being an all-or-nothing generator, it becomes a malleable editing tool. You apply natural language instructions directly to the existing AI-generated clip.
Okay, so you don't trash it.
You don't trash it. You just tell it, change the sky to overcast, or lower the saturation on the background, or zoom in slightly on the main subject. The edits are applied in context, preserving everything else you liked.
That's a game changer. That level of direct refinement suddenly makes generative AI viable for film and broadcast work, where total control is essential.
It really does. And they've added proper creator tools, too. There's a full timeline view for adjusting frames and sound.
What else?
What I find particularly innovative is the new control over camera motion. You can now upload a start frame and a reference video that shows a specific camera motion, say a slow crane shot, and instruct the Firefly video model to recreate that precise movement in your generated scene. It takes the randomness out of the AI's camera work.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Adobe isn't trying to do it all themselves.
No, they're building Firefly as an all-in-one hub by integrating the best third-party models on the market.
It's the classic Adobe playbook.
It is. They understand they are the career partner for creative pros. Their goal is to make Firefly the single subscription hub for everything, much like Photoshop dominated photography for decades. To do that, they have to integrate the bleeding edge.
So what are some of those key integrations?
They've integrated Topaz Labs Astra, which is a highly respected model used to upscale video quality to professional resolutions 1080p or even 4K.
That's critical for production.
Absolutely. And they've integrated Black Forest Labs FLUX.2, which is a new image generation model that's now available across Firefly and the Photoshop desktop apps.
So they're giving users the best tools instantly, whether they're built in-house or by a partner.
That's the idea.
And to encourage everyone to explore this new level of precision and power, I see they're offering an incentive.
They are betting heavily that once you experience this level of control and quality, you won't go back. Adobe is offering unlimited generations for specific subscription tiers, covering both their image and video models until January 15th.
A big push to get creators on board.
Massive push to get everyone into this new ecosystem that blends their native Firefly models with the best-in-class third-party tech.
Fantastic breakdown of the tech world's conflicting signals today.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, we have to thank another great sponsor, Skony.
Yes.
If you are looking for premium golf shoes, Skony is the place to go. And just like with Old Glory, you can use the promo code SNARFL at checkout to get 15% off your entire purchase.
That's Skony at skony.com.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener?
We covered 3 key points today, all showing how technology is simultaneously solving these major friction points across 3 very different domains.
1. The AI infrastructure market is highly volatile. It's split between this massive, necessary capital investment like Broadcom's $10 billion order and this deep investor concern over when the profits will actually show up.
We see that in the stock volatility of Oracle and CoreWeave.
2. Visa is fundamentally modernizing the plumbing of the U.S. financial system. They're deploying the stablecoin USDC on the Solana blockchain,
which cuts operational friction and drastically improves liquidity and speed for banks and fintechs. It's pushing traditional finance into the 2047 digital era.
And 3, Adobe is fighting AI imprecision by giving creators control. By adding prompt-based editing and integrating top third-party models like Astra and FLUX.2 into Firefly, they're transforming generative AI from a fun novelty into a precision tool for professionals.
Yeah, the overarching theme here is the ongoing evolution of control. Whether it's financial control over working capital, competitive control over customers by removing those huge egress fees, or creative control over a single frame of video, the market rewards those who eliminate friction.
We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.